thanks for clicking into another edition of Sit Down with Ed Brown. Today's show is kind of a great one because this is our first time we've ever had a three-time guest on the show. Please welcome Mr. Stacy Brown. Stacy, what's going on, buddy?
Not much, man. How you doing?
We're doing good, man. Thanks for coming on again. You know, I know we've had you on the show a couple times. Always been fun. We've talked about, you know, your FLIR footage that you had, which is pretty cool. You know, I still love that footage. I still along the top of all the footages I've seen. We talked about, you know, kind of the research you guys got going on. What are we going to talk about today, man?
Well, we can talk about the new Bigfoot film that I'm directing.
You're directing a movie?
Yeah, of course I am, and it's a Bigfoot film, and it's based on a true story. And pretty much from the area I researched, the family, their house, and all the things that went on there, and just wanting to get that story out to the people.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool. Now what family is this? Tell us a little bit of a background about what they've experienced. I mean, what makes this movie worthy?
Oh well, the family is the Bridges, Carolyn and Bill Bridges. They're up in the Panhandle of Florida, and you may have seen them on Animal Planet Find Me Bigfoot. They were, I think, on the second episode where they had a large handprint on the inside of the door.
Oh, yeah, I recall that. Yeah.
Yeah, and, you know, there's just been a ton of years. Actually, some of the reports date back to, like, 1968. And in the film, we cover all that stuff. We do keep it, you know, close to the chest. It's I mean, there's no exaggerations. There's nobody getting their head ripped off or anything, even though it is a horror film, but I guess more along the lines of like The Conjuring, okay, how they did that guy's case files, you know, and we stick to, you know, just the facts. We're getting them out there, and we were going to make a documentary, but documentaries, they're not as fun as feature films.
Right.
You know, so we really wanted to do that.
Well, feature film would be fun because it tells a story. You know, I mean, documentaries are great because they're educational, but a feature film tells a story and it kind of gets you involved and it makes you feel like you're there and you're experiencing it, and that's pretty cool. Do you have a clip on this movie?
Yes, actually, we shot a teaser back last month. And I do have it. It's on our Creatures Facebook page. And you want to play it right now?
Yeah. Let's take a look at that. So here we go. We're gonna. So this would be. Is this the first time this has been? Well, no, it's on your Facebook page or it's on your website. So it's not the first time. So let's just say, guys, enjoy this. Watch it this time, but make sure you go to the Creatures Facebook page and like and subscribe to that and follow that as well, because you're going to be able to follow all the updates and everything, but let's take a look at this and let's roll it.
All right. I love you too.
Good night. Well, she's made it to school.
Getting to know roommates. Oh, I'm ready for bed.
Okay, I'm gonna go let the dogs out.
All right.
Come on, y'all. It's time to come in. Bill.
What?
Bill.
Come on.
Something just hit the house.
What?
Something just smacked the side of the house.
Carolyn, probably fell on the roof.
I'm telling you.
Stay here. Lock the door.
Bill, don't go out.
Hey, Stacy, man, that looks pretty cool, man. And you guys, how long did it take you to film that scene?
That scene in particular took us, I want to say a few hours. You know, we shot 2 scenes that day. We haven't put the other one out yet. We put that one out because it's the first time that their house gets attacked.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And very suspenseful scene. And the thing about this film, and I mean, it's my first film, but it kind of gives you that feel of like the 70s Halloween.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That original Halloween where you're seeing from like the creature's point of view and stuff. You know, that's how we really want to go with it, with this movie in particular. I mean, it's going to be shot in, you know, in 6K. It's going to be really good, but we still want to keep it that old school horror film. That's what I grew up watching. You know, this new stuff is just like obsessed with blood and guts. But back then, you know, you didn't have all these gory scenes and stuff like that. And
absolutely,
I mean, you know, there's not going to be no murdering in this film because it's a true story and Bigfoot hasn't murdered anybody. But he sure has scared a bunch of people, and I mean, I want it to make you jump.
Right, right. Well, the creature in the film, even though you only get a glimpse of it there in the trailer, I mean, it looks pretty darn realistic, man. I mean, when he moves too. He got the heck out of Dodge, didn't he?
Oh yeah. And and that's how it's going to go. There's going to be glimpses here and there, but you are going to get to see the creature in this film, and it looks really awesome, you know. So I'm really excited to get this shot and get it out.
Right. Okay. So we've got the trailer made. We got the publicity going on. Tell me a little bit about, before we get into the scenes, because I do want to talk about some of the things that have happened on the Bridges property that you're going to have in the movie, so people can at least be aware of what to expect. But who do you have in the movie? Who do you have going in the movie?
Well, about halfway through the movie, I come into it. Okay, and we do. In the movie, my father, when he got his footage, that's in the movie as well. You know, so you'll get to know how that whole night actually went down.
Awesome.
That's one of the big scenes, and it didn't really happen on the property, but it's the same creek. It's just like a few miles down the way.
So when you guys got your footage, were you investigating the Bridges property, or was it just coincidental?
It was kind of like a collective in the area, because, you know, we were having activity at this spot. We were having activity, getting reports from all around the area. But their place, okay, the really cool thing about their place is that it's an Indian village. It was actually, I mean, they dug up pottery and arrowheads, and they have all this stuff. So Indians used to live there, you know, hundreds of years ago or whatever. Mm-hmm. And my thoughts are, because the Creek Indians, they have reports of Sasquatch. They talk about Sasquatch. So it's my thinking that the Squatch has been coming there for generations.
Right.
You know, and it's just kind of one of them things where I guess your daddy would have took you when you was a kid, so you take your kids. You know, and it's the most active spot in that area because it's like the way it is, the house is nestled into the woods with no other places around it. And so, therefore, I think it's like a form of entertainment for them to come up and, you know, mess with the house or do whatever, you know.
Sure.
And instead of sitting in the woods, you know, like research-wise, instead of sitting in the woods and hoping the Bigfoot comes by this spot in Torreya State Park or wherever along Flat Creek, you can actually just stay up there by the house and they come to it. You know, so it's like you got what they're coming to. Now you just got to sit and wait on them.
Right. And now, have you had an investigation there where you've had encounters or experiences yourself?
Oh yes, the first encounter I had was was at that property. That was what, made me, I changed my life, man. I quit my band. I sold my truck. I switched my job to 12 hours so I could get more time to go out there. I became obsessed, and, and it's kind of what put my life to where it is today. But,
sure.
I was.
And that encounter is featured in the film as well?
Yes, it is. It is, it's a very, very cool encounter. I don't want to give too much away about it, but I've talked about it before. Right. And I may have talked about it even on your show, like the first one we did, because it was my first encounter, So
right.
It was really cool, especially to wake up to the tent being pressed down almost to my face.
Wow.
And that encounter lasted 2 days. When
really?
The daylight came up, the Squatch was gone, but as soon as it got dark, it came back.
Wow. So obviously you're going to play Stacy Brown Jr., right?
Oh yeah, Brad Pitt was actually booked. We had a scheduling conflict, so he couldn't play. But he really wanted to play Stacy Brown Jr., and I was gonna donate some of my beard to him because he's not man enough to grow one. At least something to look like presidential like mine, because I'm on the presidential level. I look like Grover Cleveland or somebody that used to be in the White House back in the day.
Right. You do have this certain Civil War era appearance about you. I got to tell you,
Yeah, that's where I'm from, dude. we're still mad about the war down here.
Still fighting them Yankees, huh?
Yeah.
All right. All right. So tell me the stars you got in this movie. I mean, I'm sure you've got some big names, right?
Well, a lot of people, the first actors, but we got some people in the Bigfoot community involved. Stevie Strings, the guy's in my band, and he does a lot of Bigfooting with me.
Love that guy. Stevie Strings rocks, man. I love that guy.
He's seriously and you'll hopefully one day you'll get to hear him, but he's like one of the best guitar players I've ever met. The man's just amazing. But he's done a lot of films. So me and him started a production company, and this is our film. So he's the assistant director. And another guy that's in the Bigfoot community is Russell Accord.
Right.
He's gonna play Jim Wake, who is a forensics detective who came to the property. He had been involved with another organization, a big, kind of like the biggest organization. I won't name them, but I get it. The biggest research organization, I guess there is. Everybody knows who they are.
Of course. Yeah.
But anyway, so he is. I guess I don't know what happened. Anyways, he ended up calling me. He kind of wanted to be involved in the thing, but kind of got a sour taste in his mouth from some event with them. And he came out with us, and what was really cool is there's something that happened the night before, and I don't want to tell it to give the movie away, but he was able to break out his kit, his forensics kit, and lift actual evidence.
Awesome.
Okay, of what happened the night before. I mean, and we still have this evidence, but I mean, there's not much we can do with it. It doesn't prove anything. It's just
sure.
It's just if you look at it, you're like, wow, But then we walked him around, and I showed him stick structures and everything, and told him where the encounters had. And then that night, he actually had a Class A encounter from about 8 feet away.
Holy moly!
Yeah, the thing, it got really close to him, and it left a mark on him. But, Russell's going to play that part, and he's also jumped on board as executive producer for the movie. Cool. And then I guess the last kind of Bigfoot name that we got in the movie is this guy named Ed Brown. I mean, a lot of people don't know who Ed Brown is, but I do know him.
You mean to tell? How did you nail down Ed Brown for this movie, man?
He's just available. I was like, hey, what are you doing? You want to come hang out for a while? We'll make this movie. And he was like, yeah, it sounds good, man. So he's going to play our lead role. for Bill Bridges. In the teaser, you see Stevie playing it, okay? But at that point, schedules didn't line up. So we just shot that so we could start getting out some of the promotion and stuff. And we're going to reshoot that scene anyways, with you. And, we're happy to have you on board.
Well, let me say real quick, I'm honored to be a part of this, and I'm really, really looking forward to it, getting to hang out with you and Stevie and Russ and all the guys. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. It's going to be a blast. I'm looking forward to it. And honestly, man, I'm honored to be a part of it, and I just want to have a good time, man. I want to put up a good production. I want to do a good job, and I want to make you proud. You know what I mean?
Yeah, hey, it's going to be a blast. We got everything scheduled out, and it's just looking at the script. I mean, you read most of it today, I think.
Yes, I did. I read what you sent me, the whole thing today, as a matter of fact, and dude, I gotta tell you, man, the script is freaking awesome, man. I'm telling you, man. As I'm reading it, the way you've got it written, I see it. I see the movie being made in my head, and it's, dude, it's really good, and I think it's gonna be really, really cool. I'm really looking forward to being a part of it. And how soon are you expecting this movie to be available to the public?
We're shooting for October, so we're filming in July, the 1st of July, and then from there, I'm going to edit the whole month of August, which I should be able to get it done. The main weight's going to be like rendering. I've already got it storyboarded, and I know what I want. It's just going to be watching all the footage, but once that's done at the end of August, we are shooting to have this premiered for the people that are there at the International Bigfoot Conference.
Awesome event, man. Awesome event.
Yeah. And, just so they can see it, and then they'll get the word out as well. Because it's not going to be one of these cheesy Bigfoot movies. It's going to be, it's just. And that was the thing with the script, the story. It's kind of really easy to write. I mean, I had to put a story to it, and the story is pretty much Miss Bridges finally retires, and Bill builds her the house of her dreams in the woods. An absolutely beautiful place. When you see it, man, you're going to be like, oh my God. It's just the way the land's set up and stuff is just gorgeous. And she thinks, this is where, this is my happiness. This is this is what I've waited on my whole life. But then to find out she's being terrorized by these creatures that she doesn't know what they are on her property. And then even at that part, Bill doesn't believe her. Her family doesn't believe her. So she turns to a Bigfoot researcher by the name of David Wright to help her figure out what's going on. And he was the first researcher there probably about 6 years before I came to the scene. And then, it just goes from there. But the thing is there's a certain cutoff date,
right.
Because, there's so much stuff going on, especially stuff that's going on lately. We haven't included in this movie. This movie mainly deals from like what's went on from 2006 to 2014.
Right.
And without jumping around and making it seem like 1 month later, this thing happens, and then we go 6 months later. It's all kind of crafted into one piece.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So that's all the events happen, just the timelines. Unlike a documentary. A documentary, you could split it up and do it, but when you're making a feature film and you're trying to tell the story of this woman's plight, she's finally got what she wanted in her life, and then it's a very good thing, but at the same time it's a very bad thing because something is attacking her. It's killed her cat. It's really terrifying everybody. Her dogs have been injured by the creatures, and then when she turns to the people she loves the most, they think she's insane.
Sure. And it's funny because when I read the script, I can feel that pain. You know, I feel her sadness, if you will. Like, you know, man, I know what I'm saying, and I believe what I'm saying, but nobody else does. You know, I sense that in the script. So you've done a great job with the script.
Yeah, the frustration, you know, and
Yes.
it's just storytelling, you know, it's so we crafted, and like I said, it wasn't really. I mean, you could do it when you meet her and talk to her, and if you know, like I've known her for years, she's family to me, and
Right.
I mean, you just know this frustration because if she could talk to me and David and Jeff about these things that go on, but you know, I know it bothers her that she can't talk to her family about it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I've met her family and I've heard the jokes as well.
Right. Of course. Yeah, we all have. Everybody who's in this goes through that at some point, you know. And it is an unfortunate part of believing in Bigfoot. You know what I mean? Or being convinced what's there. You know, it is. But as someone who's not a researcher, who's just experienced some, let's be honest, horrible things, you know, and nobody believes it. I mean, the only analogy I can come up with is somebody witnessed a murder and nobody believes she saw it. You know, I mean, that's just it's so real, but nobody believes you.
Yeah.
You know, that's sad. So, is the plan to film as much as possible at the actual locations of where these things happen?
Oh yes, everything is filmed on location wherever. See, that's what I was thinking with it being based on a true story. You know, I mean, it's all shot, and we're shooting in their house. We're shooting on their property. Every single scene where everything encountered or every encounter happens is actually the location. That's the good thing about it, and I think the Bigfoot community will like that. You know, because like Something in the Woods was based on a true event, but that you know that you got what the director, you know, put wherever the location wasn't the real location.
Yeah,
like I mean, with this spot where the Bigfoot is standing in this movie was actually where the Bigfoot was standing.
Wow.
And that's cool because you're getting the complete visual of what these people saw. You know, and I think it makes a really unique film for it.
Yeah, that's awesome, and it's kind of cool to me because I love going to locations where sightings have happened or films been taken or pictures have been taken. I love going to the location. You know, it's in my blood. But so I'm trying to envision this. We're going to a Bigfoot hotspot where a lot of activity has happened, and you're bringing in some Bigfoot researchers. You know, are we going to have an opportunity to go out and have some fun?
Of course we are, and see that's the thing. Okay, so here's my problem. Here's my main worry about this film. Bigfoot activity happening when they're okay. We're going to be there for a week. Something's going to happen.
Right.
Okay, and we just have to ignore it and just keep going on, especially when we're shooting at night. But my problem is with the creature. When he's out there in a Bigfoot costume doing Bigfoot things, what are the real Bigfoots going to think of this? Right. Are they going to stay away because of all the lights and stuff? And that's what I'm hoping, you know. But I mean, it could go two ways, you know, because there's been gifting going on there. And dude, like I went through 80 to 90 actual incidents that happened on the property, and I cut a lot of them out. You know, I took all the better ones.
Sure.
And so, but yeah, we to answer your question, yes, man, we're gonna go to the film site where me and you know, my dad got the footage, and we're gonna hang out there at Squatch after we're done shooting.
Oh,
and
man,
then you know, over there at their house is just gonna be, and especially with all the stuff going on and people coming in and out, it's gonna raise their curiosity.
Sure.
Now they're gonna, of course, wait till it's dark and it looks like everybody's asleep before they come up to the house because it's how they do.
Right.
They just.
I don't know, man. I'm excited about it. I'm looking forward to it. You know, I know that when we first talked about this a while back, it was pretty low key. I wasn't allowed to tell nobody, and you know how hard that is to have good news and can't tell nobody. You know what I mean?
Oh yes.
But man, we are ready to rock and roll. We're going to have a lot of fun, and I will definitely be there. But if you could summarize this movie in like a small paragraph to kind of use as kind of a teaser to get people interested, what would you say?
Oh wow, throw me on the spot.
Come on, I didn't say I was with those softballs at you. Come on.
Yeah. How would put it is it's one of the most unique, most active Bigfoot hotspots. Seriously, I've been all over the country. This is the best spot I've ever been to, and it's the most active. And I mean, we're telling a story. You're actually going to get to see actually what's happened, what you haven't seen on TV, what you have, things
right.
you haven't heard because it's just not pushed out there. I myself don't go out and push out all these reports that go on there.
Sure.
I can talk for days, and I mean, you're going to get scared. It's going to be fun. It's going to be funny. At the same time, it's going to be a family movie, but it's also going to be, scary and to the point. We're not going to stray from the truth. That was the one agreement that me and her had, is that we couldn't embellish.
That's good. That's good. And let me say, for someone who was on the spot, you answered that question exactly the way I thought you should have. Exactly right. I mean, we're going to be in a location where stuff is already happening, and we're going to be filming there. I mean, to me, that's icing on the cake, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be good. I just, it's really unique. I don't know of that many movies that actually filmed in the exact spot where whatever story they were telling happened at. And I mean, you're going to get the house. You're going to see the creek. The stick structures that are going to be shown in the film are still there. We're going to. I mean, it's going to be the actual stick structures. We're not going to make them. You know? So it's going to be cool.
It's going to be a lot of fun. I actually am probably just as excited to see the movie as I am to go down and film the movie. I mean, after reading the script, man, honestly, when I read the script, it was alive. It was a movie, and kudos seriously for that, because I think the script is awesome, and I look forward to doing this. I look forward to being a part of it. So, do you have any closing words that you want to add about the movie that maybe I haven't asked or you wanted to touch on?
Putting up, even though we do have the money to shoot, we are going to be, it was just a discussion, should we do a Kickstarter? I know people like to have Kickstarters so they can, either get a copy of the thing, early or get some kind of swag. So we are going to put a Kickstarter out so we can have a little bit of extra money to market the movie.
Awesome.
To make sure it gets out there, because we're going to take this to the horror film festivals and, all the Bigfoot conferences. We're going to start hitting them up and just, seeing if maybe they'll let us screen them, things like that. Sure. We want to get this out there because what I'm trying to do is make a really good Bigfoot film that's not cheesy and doesn't have horrible acting.
Right.
That's besides exist. I don't really know of one that really wasn't eat up with horrible acting. I haven't seen Willow Creek, but I've seen all the other ones, and I mean, it was just, some of them were hard to watch. Right. You know what I mean? And
sure.
I really want to make a good Bigfoot film, and this is the perfect. I mean, it's kind of all fell into place for me. This is the perfect story. It's a true story, and we have great actors. And even though some of this is some people's first films, but I have high confidence in everything that we've put together. In this product, it's gonna be really well. We got a guy, Jeff Ellis. He runs cinematography up at University of Chattanooga, and he's on board. He actually has been helping us investigate some of the things that are going on there now, which I'm not going to give away, but they're completely different than what was going on then.
Sure.
And the second movie, I'm already putting that together. So this will be like a two-part.
Awesome.
a 2-part movie. But we just want to get this one out and see how it goes. I mean, from what the teaser's doing online, everybody loves it.
Sure. And I got to ask, Bill Bridges is still alive, right?
Oh yeah. He's
so I'll
still
be in part 2. So I'll be in part 2 then, right?
Yes, as long as you're still alive.
Ow. Yeah, I guess you had a good point.
Yeah. I don't want to have to recast it, man, because, I mean, you look really close to him. It was kind of like, wow, like I said, when everything kind of just fell together and fell into place, I seriously mean everything's kind of just fell into place, and so I've got a really good feeling about this.
Well, I recently saw that you had posted something online that there were still some roles that needed to be filled. Do you want to talk about those? Maybe somebody's listening that might be interested.
I mean, I would, but they're all filled.
Everything's sold. Oh, well, good deal. Good deal.
Hey, we're ready to go. I mean, like, seriously, we've got everything, and we could shoot tomorrow, but I'm just, like, tying up some loose ends, because here's my deal, is I'll read the script again, and then I'll go in and read it a week later, or I'll be thinking about something while I'm working on cars at my job, which I hate. But anyways, and I'll be like, oh man, hey, I should really do this instead of that. Let's have them talk about this. Because, like, even though it's a true story, all right, the events happen, but, like, nobody remembers word for word of what they were talking about. So that stuff has to be scripted.
Sure, of course. And that's not embellishing. I mean, that's laying the story, so it's...
Yeah, that's just giving it some, so you can fall in love with the characters.
Absolutely. All right. Well, guys, listen. You heard it here first. Creatures, the movie, a Stacy Brown film, going to be filming this July. We're going to be out hopefully by October. We're looking at going to conferences. This is going to be a lot of fun. I am so glad to be a part of it. And Stacy, I want to thank you, man, for coming on again and talking about this and getting the word out, because I want it to be successful, and we're going to do everything we can.
Awesome, man. I appreciate you having me on and taking time out of your day.
No problem, buddy. All right, guys, check out the film. Remember, go to the Facebook page, and it's just Creatures, Stacy?
Yep, Creatures, a True Story.
Creatures, a True Story Facebook page. Make sure you click that like button, follow it. That way you can stay up to date with what Stacy's got going on and what he's coming up with next. And man, Stacy, with that, I guess, man, I'll see you in July, right?
Yes, sir. Can't wait, man.
All right, buddy. And everybody, with that, we're out.